Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of modeling slope-intercept form. This is standard 8.5I in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 29, which is a new item type called drag and drop, of the 2023 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. All right, so we've got two different boxes here, right? We're going to drag and drop. Notice that each number can only be used one time. Sometimes they can be used more than once. And then obviously we need to fill in both boxes. If you try to move on with just filling in one, it will give you that error message, and we're not going to use all 6 answers. All right, so we have a linear function, right? So what do we know about this linear function? Well, I can immediately tell you a few things about this linear function. Right, so one thing I immediately know is that it is going to have a positive slope. How do I know it's got a positive slope? Well, moving from left to right, you always move left to right, it's moving up. It's got a diagonal up, but it does move up. So I'm thinking this m right here, we are dealing with our slope-intercept form, so y equals mx plus b. So possibilities for m are going to be maybe 2/3, 3/2, or 6. What we're not going to do is we're not going to put any of those negative slopes, because a negative slope would move down like this. All right, so we've eliminated that. And then we can go ahead and take a look at our y-intercept. Right? When we're looking at our y equals mx plus b, this m is our slope, and then the b is the y-intercept. Where does this line cross the y-axis? Well, visually, we can see it crosses the y-axis right there at 6. So that's going to knock that out off my slope right there. I can go and drag the 6 and put it right there, because that's where it crosses the y-axis. So if we can visually say the y-axis is going to be crossed at the 6, right, then we can plot that point as a, let's go ahead and put that as x of 0, y of 6. If we have that, we're halfway to figuring out our slope. Remember, our slope can be found, and I'll show you on the reference materials, it's that third equation. Slope of a line is change in y over change in x, which means we simply need 2 different points. So y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Rise over run. And I've already got, let's make this my x1. Let's make this my y1. So all I need is another point. Now it needs to fall directly on an intersection of integers, right? If not, I'm just kind of guesstimating. Let's go ahead and do this x-intercept right here. Okay, it looks like it's -4, 0. Anytime you can throw zeros in there, just makes your life so much easier. So I've already got my x sub 1 and y sub 1. Let's do x sub 2 and y sub 2. And then all we do is substitute, making sure we don't mix them up. All right, so my y sub 2 is 0 minus 6. And if you were to flip these and, make this part your x sub 1 and y sub 1, and this part your x sub 2, y sub 2, you'd get the same answer. Try it if you don't believe me. It's pretty simple. So my y sub 2 is going to be the 0 minus 6. My x is going to be the -4 minus, see, 0. That's why we love zeros. So that's going to be a -6 over -4, right? So that's why we have the positive, because it's 2 negatives. So that m is going to equal positive 3/2. So this is what it's saying. It's saying, and I'll change to blue here, that for every change, right, every 2 changes in x to the right, 1, 2, it's moving up 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that makes sense. That looks like it plots right there at -2, 3. Then if I do that again, 1, 2 to the right, I go up 3, 1, 2, 3. That's my 0, 6. All right, so it looks like I've got that 3/2. So that's that positive. We're going to move it right there. That is my answer.